Welcome to the Simplified Stamper. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos.
Hey everyone, I hope this video helps you to be able to create these cool boxes. I absolutely love them and I make them all the time. This is the bottom of the box. The bottom of the box is 8.5 by 9 3/4, and then it's scored at 1 7/8 all the way around. I'm not going to have you watch me score the whole thing, so but just so it gives you an idea, I do use the Stampin' Up! Trimmer that has the scoring tool on there, and I'm going to score that all the way around at 1 7/8. And then on the top of the box, it's a little different. You're going to score that at 7/8, but it's just actually just over 7/8, and I'm trying to show you that there it's just, you go to 7/8 and then you just go to the next smidge more, and that makes it the lid snug on the box. If you do it at 7/8 of an inch all the way around, it's just that much too big. So you have to go just a smidge further than 7/8 all the way around. And this cardstock, I'll get you the information for it. I get it on Amazon. It is an extremely heavyweight cardstock. I would say it's just slightly thinner than chipboard. And I use it for all my card bases and all of my boxes. And because it is thick and very stiff, I have to use that scoring tool several times just to get a really good score in there. And then you'll see me go through and burnish all the way around with my bone folder, just to make sure there's a good crease in there. Because this cardstock, again, is extremely heavy, it just needs a really good burnish all the way around. I can't say enough about this cardstock. I use it for all my card bases. You cannot use a paper punch on it, so this is not good for like the little banners on, unless you're going to hand do a little tiny sentiment and you're going to use your scissors with it. You really can't use a paper punch with this. And here's me just cutting the corners and marring those corners just to make the flaps so we can make our box. I realized that after I started the video that my camera had shifted and you're not seeing the whole view, so I'm sorry you're kind of seeing off the mat. But here's me mitering those corners just to make sure that when I glue the box together that it goes together smoothly. So you'll see that. I've also been using a new glue. You'll see that come into frame here in a minute. It's Bearly Art glue. It's a brand new glue company. I'm not affiliated with any of these companies, but I absolutely love this glue. And of course, you're not seeing all of it in that frame, but it's awesome. There's that and like a refill for $25. I think it might last me at least 6 months to a year. Oh, and there's my dog snoring. Maxine, she's sleeping over here. And then it holds together really well, but I'm impatient and I don't want to stand there and hold it. Plus I only had so long to video. So I got out my little container of paper clips, and I just paper clip where I've glued just to hold it there for a second. It doesn't really need to be, once you've held it for a few seconds, it's going to hold kind of on its own anyway. I just wanted to keep it in place. So here I am gluing all those corners and then putting a paper clip on it just to make sure that it's fastened into place. I really enjoy this glue. I've been using the Tombow liquid glue, and I was just really disappointed with it over the winter. It just oozed everywhere. So I've switched to this Bearly Art, and I've really enjoyed it. So this is the base, and we're basically going to do the same thing. I had already scored it at 1 7/8 all the way around, and now I'm just using my bone folder to score. Again, this cardstock is extremely heavy, so it really needs a good burnishing with your bone folder. But you'll love this stuff. I'll have to get you the information for it, because I did try to record the information into the video, but because my camera was off center, all the information was below the screen. So I will take a picture of that and add that to the group, or put some information in the comments. I get it on Amazon. I think it comes 150 sheets to a package. Oh, I can't remember. But anyway, I make all my card bases off of it. I cannot say enough about it. It is hands down the best card base paper you will find anywhere. You can stamp on it. I do it from time to time for different things, but you cannot use a paper punch on it. It is entirely too thick. And it does take a guillotine to cut it. I do not cut this this paper with my paper trimmers. It's too thick, and those blades just cannot handle it. So definitely cut this with a guillotine paper cutter. I've had mine for 30 years, and I probably could use a new one, so I won't necessarily suggest a brand of paper cutter for a guillotine, but you have to have a guillotine to cut this paper. I have thought about going in and having like Office Depot cut it for me to make my card bases, but I just haven't. Now here's the top layer of the box. It's 4 5/8 by 5 7/8, and that's going to just layer the top of the box perfectly. Some people, when I've seen them, they'll put like different colors all the way, the paper all the way around the box. I'm too lazy for that. So now I'm taking, this is the scrap of the pink paper that's down there for the top, and I'm actually just tearing it along the sides. That way it creates a nice organic edge, and then I'm going to line the top with it and just create, because the backside is solid of that particular paper. And I was thinking about using those purple flowers, and I was like, nah, I'm not going to. So now I'm just going to glue that piece down. I'm super simple. That's why they call me, that's why my business is the Simplified Stamper, because if I have to like overthink anything, I just don't do it. If things don't go together really quickly for me, it's just, I can't handle it. I don't know about you, but if I've had to think about it, I don't mind designing a card and then taking a few minutes to try to figure it out, but I like to do all mine in duplicates. So if I make one card, I normally make 2 to 4 of the same one. And the first one might take me the longest, and then after that I really want it to get together quickly. So now I'm just taking my bone folder and making sure that there's contact with both papers, and then I'll trim off the excess on either side of this. Going over and trimming down is way easier than trying to line up. Again, I'm lazy. So I just made sure that it was a longer piece than what I needed, and then I'm trimming off the excess so it looks like I really know how to measure, and I'm lazy, so I don't do a lot of measuring. So there's that, and then we'll clip forward. I totally messed up stamping on that piece of paper. It's got texture, and when I tried to put a stamp on there, it just jacked it up. So you'll see that I end up bringing out another piece of paper with a new sentiment on it, and I'm just tearing that as well. It just says "from me to you." I kept trying to stamp the other image over and over again on things, and I'm like, why isn't it not working? It's an old block stamp, and I almost never use them because I could pull them off and put them on my Stamparatus, and sometimes I do. But that one, I don't know, I was angry with it. So I'm like, okay, we're just going to go through a new sentiment here. So I'm covering up the one that I messed up on, and I am going to glue that piece down, and it looks just fine, and no one will know that I completely messed up underneath there. I'm just narrowing that a little. I tore it the wrong direction. You have to tear it towards you so the white shows, and I had not done that. So I'm fixing that here. And then now I'm just kind of lining it up to make sure that it covers up the other sentiment. Of course, you can't see that, but I was happy with it because it was off camera. I am really sorry that my camera shifted. It was all fine until I guess I started the video and it must have slid. So I apologize for that. Again, I'm just applying that Barely Art glue, or Barely glue, I guess. Does it say art glue? Now I've got to look at the name of it again. I think it's Barely Art glue. There you go. And then I'm just going to cover up the sentiment that I completely messed up on. And I knew when I stamped it on there, I was like, should I stamp it directly? I probably shouldn't. And then I'm like, oh, I trust myself. Well, I should have known better. So, so now I'm just making sure that the paper is, you know, fully made contact with that glue with my bone folder. The glue does a great job. I just kind of do that. And then again, I'm trimming off the edges to make it look like I know how to measure and make my paper line up. But I don't, so we just go over. And now that's on there. And then I had pre-cut a butterfly. When I cut my butterfly yesterday for my box, I just did 2, because if I was going to cut 1 and bring out my big shot, I was going to bring out 2. So now I just put foam tape on the back of that, and I'm going to make sure that it's on there real good. Now I wanted to show you this trick because people use it, but they don't really explain it. I put tear tape all the way along the back of this. I could have decorated it after I put it on the box, but I didn't. But anyway, if you do the tear tape and only do it halfway and fold it outward, then you can position stuff without worrying about it gluing down before you're ready. So here's all the edges are sticking out. You'll see that tape, the wax paper is sticking out. I line up my lid, put it where I want it, and then the places that have exposed tear tape will stick, but then the other parts won't. So if you really had to reposition it, you could. And then you just go around and pull out the rest of the tear tape and make sure it's secure. I've seen other people do it, but they don't actually explain it. And I had to figure it out on my own. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so easy. So now you don't have to worry about it needing repositioned. So there's the box. And here I'm going to show you how well it fits. The lid is snug. I do that on purpose because I don't want the lid to just fall off of it when someone picks it up off their desk. So I want them to feel like when they've paid for cards of mine, that they are actually getting something substantial. And it's not hard to put on. I'm just trying to do it around the camera. So there it is. I just think they're super cute. I only decorate the top. I see no point in doing the bottom, but you can see that the card and an envelope fits in there just fine with room to spare. These will hold, this is how I sell my 8-packs. They'll probably hold more like 10 to 12. I do have a box that holds 16 to 20, and maybe I'll do a video on that next week. I hope this helped. Have a blessed day, everyone.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. You can find more of the Simplified Stamper on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest.